Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Planescape Torment. Alright, let's see. Morety Gravesend wants to talk to us, so let's go ahead and talk to him. This tiny wizened man is dwarfed by his huge Dustman robes. They look as if they were chosen to cloak his small stature. Although he looks to be in his late 90s, this man is extremely energetic. He fidgets continuously, and his eyes dart around the bar like a bird's. Hello! The man's eyes gleam as he takes your measure, and he gives you a slight nod and greeting. Hail and well met, traveler. You look like one who is just getting their sigil legs about them. He trails off. Pardon me, have you met before? Your face seems familiar somehow. Possible. Are you certain it was me? Maybe I was mistaken. Morety shakes his head. But no matter, no matter. How is it that Morety Gravesend may help you? Do you seek, he clutches his tongue as he speaks, the contract? Contract? The contract? Why, it is but a simple transaction. From the depths of his huge robe, Morety pulls forth a dusty parchment and a quill pen. I give you 50 commons. In return, after death, the Dustman faction may claim your remains. He smiles and clucks his tongue. What use will you have for them at that point anyway? What do the Dustmen do with the body? Morety holds up his hand as if he doesn't know. What does it matter? It is of no consequence when you pass on. It matters to me. Well, if you must know, oftentimes nothing is done with the body, and it is we, the Dustmen, who have wasted all that money. More fools us. Morety gives a light smile, then looks apologetic. But rarely. There are times when the workers in the mortuary need to be replaced. And then we may have a need for your body. You mean I'll be animated as a corpse and put to work in the mortuary? That doesn't sound good. Ah, but no harm is done, no pain. Morety raises a finger. Yeah, no harm. Yeah, not like me destroying it. Where was I? Morety raises a finger as if to emphasize the point. And there is no danger. In exchange for money you can spend in this life, you merely have to give us something you will have no need of anyway once you have died. Morety taps his chest. I signed the contract myself, if you must know. I shall have no need of my body when I pass on. I'll consider it. For now, I have some other questions. Let's see. Are you the one who signed that dead contract with Angyar? Morety frowns. He looks puzzled. Mayhap. He thinks for a moment. I do not recall the name, however. Do you have that contract with you? Morety frowns and looks into the folds of his robes. I do not normally keep the documents with me, but it may be that... Morety pulls forth a sheaf of papers from within his robes and begins leafing through the documents. No, I don't have it on me. Would you like me to fetch it from one of the back rooms? If you could, I would like to see it. Not exactly. I would like to cancel the contract. Morety looks wary. I'm afraid that is impossible. The contract is signed, settled, and binding. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It is causing him distress. It is possible that he may not even be able to approach the true death with such emotions churning in his mind. Is there any way I might be able to settle the contract with you? Bluff. I suggest you hand over the contract right now, or I'll butcher you where you stand. Truth. I like this option. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It is causing him distress. It is possible that he may not even be able to approach the true death with such emotions churning in his mind. Morety chews it over for a moment. It looks like you've negotiated him into a corner. I cannot. It is a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot... So what you're saying is that you won't deny him the true... that you'll deny him the true death for the sake of a piece of parchment? Totally going for that. Morety sighs and holds up his hands as if to placate you. Look, it is not how you are making it out to be. You obviously hold the philosophy of the Dustmen in contempt to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, they soon will. Morety glares at you for a moment, opens his mouth, closes it, then opens it. By the nine hells, wait here. He drops his voice to a whisper. It keep your bone box latched. He gives an angry scowl and stomps off. Oh, wait. 500 experience. A few seconds later, he returns. He is holding a dusty piece of parchment, which he gives to you. Here, he sniffs disdainfully. All for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone and nettle me with your preachings no longer. I will leave for now. Farewell, Morty. Seer the Skeptic. Hello. As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you.
La, look who's come a-calling on Seer today, Death's dearest son.
She looks you up and down, then shakes her head in disbelief.
By every power in its mother, boy, what crypt did you crawl out of?
Joke. Well, the crypt was losing its charm, so now I'm looking around for the right place to die. Know of anywhere? Yeah, let's do that. She barks a laugh that rattles your ears.
Ha! Not here, unless you wish to die of boredom.
What's wrong with here?
Someone pinch your sense and your sight, boy?
She waves her hand around the bar.
Look around. What do your eyes tell you?
Dustmen, a Dustman bar. A bunch of fun-loving Dustmen, drinking happily and conversing merrily, celebrating life to its fullest. Totally gonna go for that one.
You've got a clever tongue there, boy. Mayhap your tongue is cleverer than you are.
Seer squints at you and then snorts.
That explain the scars.
But it doesn't explain why a Dustman is standing here ridiculing other Dustmen. Care to explain that one? Are you a Dustman?
A Dustman, I suppose.
Seer sniffs.
I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass while wearing these robes. His body's almost ready to pay the ferryman.
She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying?
Of course I am, boy. Who isn't?
She frowns and glances around.
Well, except Dustmen. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own bar droppings over the decades. They've blinded themselves to the thinking that death is some kind of release.
It is a release of some sort. You don't sound much like a Dustman. So what sparked this crisis of faith? She shrugs.
Life, I suppose.
She frowns.
Ha! Never you mind. I won't bore you with the niggling details.
I'd like to know, actually.
Oh, would you?
She looks at you skeptically.
How old do you take me for, How old do you take me for, boy?
Let her down gently. Lie out of kindness. Rather youngish. I don't know and I don't care. Truth, old.
She snorts. Well, you're wrong. I'm really old. Now I've spent most of my long years teaching Dustmen. I've seen many Dustmen whelps grow within our order, taught them the ways of the faction, kept the faith, preached the tenets of the faction, she frowns, and so on and so on. No questions, no doubt. This life was merely an antechamber that led to the true death.
What happened?
Well, a half-month back, I went sick with the fever, she sighs. I thought it was the end. It rattled my cage.
How? Her face becomes a stone.
There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for the best. Oh, Seer is so fortunate. She shall soon be relieved of the burden of life. Burden of life? That's when it struck me. That there's something, a queer expression comes over her features, addled about not appreciating your life. The Dustmen keep saying that life is misery and suffering. Is it? That we should be happy to pass on into oblivion? Should we? She shakes her head. Questions, and precious few answers.
Doesn't sound like you believe the Dustman philosophy anymore. What will you do?
To be square, boy, I don't know. Seer sighs. That's the problem with doubt. I can't even trust that what I'm feeling is true, or if I'm scared of death only because of my brush with the fever, or even that what I should do. Is this a passing thing? I don't know.
Seer, if you had truly believed in the Dustman philosophy, then your brush with the fever would not have left you with such doubts. Seer, I would treat this as a test of your belief. It sounds like these feelings are only temporary. All those years of devotion to the Dustman could not have been false. At the core of the Dustman philosophy is that this life is one of pain. It is a weapon that life uses against a soul to keep it anchored to this existence. Do not let this brush with the fever break your Dustman beliefs, so time will heal these doubts. It is difficult to answer. Look, I had some other questions. So it's basically like, do we want to tell her, tell her to quit, or tell her to keep with it? I don't really like 3, though. Because I don't like that, I mean, I think there's a way to have kind of a fulfilled existence in this life while still believing that the true death comes later kind of thing. I would treat this as a test of your belief. 500 experience. Seer stares at you, then nods slowly. Maybe so, maybe so, she frowns, her face wrinkling up in concentration. I'll have to chew it over some more. You should. It's no small matter. Now, enough of me rattling on about my woes. Seer stares at your scars. You look like you've shared a few handshakes with death yourself. Hasn't that changed your views somewhat? Doesn't it make you appreciate life a bit more? Well, my condition is unique. I woke up in the mortuary. I think they mistook me for a corpse and were preparing to bury me. Strange thing is, I think I actually had died and got better. Let's go with this one. She blinks. You're rattling my coffin. It's true. Strange are the ways of the plains, and I've seen too much to throw any tale out of the wash. She studies your face. If it's true, why does this happen? All I know is I woke up in the mortuary with no memory and covered with enough wounds to kill me 3 times over. I don't know. She seems to think it over for a moment, then shrugs. Makes 2 of us, then. Most peculiar. Never heard of anything like that. Shame about the memories. You have any idea why this happens? Nay, not a one. Never knew anyone who death wouldn't take, until now. Well, let's ask you some other questions. Questions, eh? Well, you can ask. Seer looks at you with a steely eye, then smiles. Crypt crawler. Have you seen a journal recently? I'm missing mine. What does it look like? No idea. If you don't know what it looks like, how do you expect to find it? I'm beginning to wonder that myself. I'm searching for a man named Ferret. Have you seen him? Seer's face crumples into a frown. That dog, he's the worst of the collector lot. I heard he has his kip set up somewhere in Ragpicker's Square. Many streets west of the mortuary gate. Dangerous place, though. Some of those collectors aren't patient enough to wait for the folks to die so they can sell them for Jake. We know what the collectors are. I'm not going to ask. Well, let's ask. Okay, had some other questions. I'm not actually going to read that. I wanted to ask you about some of the Dustmen in particular. No harm in it. Who's on your mind? What can you tell me about Morty? Morty? I thought you were going to ask about a Dustman. There's no Dustman who's less a Dustman than that jinx-smacking bone-box-rattling lackwit. Well, what do you mean? Morty's so anxious to impress his betters by getting the most dead contracts signed that I wonder if he'll ever be a Dustman. I don't understand. He's eager to get contracts signed, boy. He's concerned about his reputation. He's thinking of his career in the Dustman. That alone says it all. I still don't understand. It's said that passions kill. Seer snorts. For Dustmen, it's the opposite. Passions keep you alive. And if you can't strip yourself of passions, whether eagerness, greed, or ambition, then you're doomed to never truly die, because life will always hold a piece of you. Can I ask about some other Dustmen? What can you tell me about Emmerich? That stone-faced old fool. I taught him, you know. And I used to hold the man in high regard, and I woke up. He's a crusty old ghoul that sits here in his off hours to make sure the younger Dustmen have a symbol of authority here in this bar. Old vulture. Actually, I met a scribe named Dahl in the mortuary. Do you know him? Dahl? He was my instructor in the philosophical arts during my early training at the mortuary, and a crusty old fool to boot. He is ill, so my ears tell me. I bet he'll even bore death with his present. Is he dying?
Sicker than a spotted dog he is. Not much sand left in the hourglass for him.
Let's see. Actually, I met a scribe named... I met a guide at the mortuary. Suego. Do you know him?
That boy used to be a regular around here. Don't know what happened to him. Could be he was shaken up after his friend died.
Explain.
One of his friends was killed at the hive a few weeks ago, torn apart by rats. Messy business.
Has he always been a guide?
No, only for the past few months, and last I heard he was just sent off for some missionary duty, but I don't know where.
Can I ask you about some other Dustmen? One of the embalmers in the mortuary, Iveen. Do you know her?
Who?
A strange young woman, poor eyesight, near deaf, talons for hands.
Seer shakes her head. Maybe she's a new initiate. I've never heard of her.
Let's see. Had some other questions. I didn't crawl out of any crypt. She frowns, face wrinkled.
Alright then, which coffin did you crawl out of? She mumbles. One of those shoddy splint coffins that Hamris is most like. Gives a corpse splinters, I hear. She sniffs. That boy's not been worth a clipped copper since his father died.
Well, the coffin he made was too drafty, so now I'm looking around for the right place to die. Nope. Who's Hamris?
Hamris is a coffin breaker. Pardon, coffin maker. In the lower ward. Inherited the shop when his father died. Much to the shame of every corpse needing a coffin, crypt, or tombstone and sigil.
What happened to his father?
Those ears just for show, boy? He died, she mumbles. His son talked him to death, most likely. That boy's tongue didn't stop rattling. I'm surprised he doesn't shake his head loose from his shoulders.
Well, it doesn't sound like I'd like to be buried in one of his coffins, then. No. I must take my leave. Farewell. Let's see. Let's go talk to old Copper Eyes first. Before you is a tall, silent figure. He could easily pass for a statue, although the deep furrows in his face and brow make you wonder if the sculptor was a little too eager in defining the face with the chisel. He looks well over 50 years old, but exactly how much over 50 it's hard to tell. As he slowly turns to look at you, you catch the dull sheen of copper in his eyes. Greetings. Old Copper Eyes stares at you. His eyes are difficult to make out past the black well of his eye sockets, but they look to have a coppery sheen about them. I have some questions. Never mind. I guess he's a zombie or something? Maybe? I don't know. Let's go talk to Naroch. You see a spindle-thin dustman in dirty black robes. His stiff black hair springs forth from his skull like a crown of spikes, and his leper-white skin is drawn sharply across his skull. He is frowning into his drink and mumbling to himself. Hello! The dustman looks up, blinks once, then looks you up and down, studying you. As he studies you, he takes one of his spiked locks and points at himself with it. Naroch, initiate, dustman, guard. I'm here about the posting outside. The dustman looks at you up and down. Many troubles have I. Help can you? A mausoleum awakes. The dead walk. The dead disturbed. The dustman disturbed. Find out what disturbs the undead, and copper coins I will pay. Very well. Where is this mausoleum?
My journal.
Mausoleum by Dustman Memorial. Go north and west from Black Monument. Go to arch and semicircle over your heart with this finger. This make. He wiggles the index finger on his right hand. To the mausoleum you will. Go you will. I'll look into it. Farewell. And I guess we'll talk to Awaiting Death. Before you is a young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles underneath his eyes. He is staring at the wall with a somber expression. Yo! Sup, buddy? I don't know what I was starting to say there, but it was not buddy. Whatever. The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead as if he is seeing something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar. Can I ask you some questions? He doesn't respond. He keeps staring at the distance. Farewell, then. As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks, his voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear the words. You think he said something about wanting to die. What did you say? The boy's expression does not flicker. Do you want to die? No. Do you? Yes, he studies you. Why do you want to live? I just do. Survival instinct. I want to live. I don't want to join Oblivion just yet. I like being alive a lot better. There are certain questions I need answered about my life before I'm willing to surrender it. I want to find out who I am. The Dustman listens silently. After you speak, he does not respond, merely watches you. He looks like he is thinking. Do you want to die? Is that why you asked? Yes. Why don't you want to live? This is living? He bares his teeth and his hands clench. This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue the charade any longer. Death is silent, comforting. Trust me, it's not. The boy seems irritated by the comment. And how do you know? I don't know. I've yet to see what lies beyond death and remember it. If I die again, perhaps then I could speak of it. The Dustman blinks and sneers. You lie. No man can die more than once. Not without being resurrected by mighty magics. Resurrected? Resurrected, brought back to life. The magic required is indeed powerful. I don't know. Who would be capable of such a power? A powerful sorcerer or priest. Not a sorcerer. I mean, they could reincarnate. Or one of the powers, but not anyone I know, he frowns. And I don't believe you know of anyone of that sort either. You don't believe I can't die? I can prove it to you. What do you mean? He looks like he wants to turn away, but he cannot. You can't seriously. Uh-oh. Take your hands, twist your neck. Well, your vision slowly returns. Your death felt different this time. You see awaiting death standing above you. He looks horrified and fascinated. He has propped you into a chair. And is looking apprehensively at the other bar patrons. They don't appear to have noticed or have mistaken you for a drunk. Convinced now? Are you one of the Walking Dead? No. Then what are you? I don't know, but I die and am reborn. Yet you still think, you still feel? Yes, but there is a hollowness. Something is missing, and it eats at you, never leaves you at peace. To be dead and still think and feel? Will misery never leave a body be? The thought seems to horrify him. Even death is no release. Indeed, perhaps you should not be so quick to abandon this life before knowing what the next life holds for you. The boy falls silent, thinking. Eventually, he turns back to you. Your words carry weight, sir, and a fresh perspective. I will do as you have said. That is all I ask. Live, grow old, and learn. Farewell. Hey, sweet. I will take 500 experience points. Alright, so I think that I can go here.
Done.
Which may be a bad idea. Yeah, so there's a portal there. Let's go ahead and quick save. Oh, actually, you know what? You see a heavy-set looking man. He has a stone-faced expression. Hello! The man looks at you for a moment, grunts and raises his hand, revealing a wicked dagger. He smiles evilly and begins twirling it in a menacing arc. Farewell. Well, you've decided to attack me, and I've decided to murder you. Nope, come back here. Your turn. Oh, jeez. I am...
Did you see that?
Low on hit points. Rusty dagger. 1 to 3 piercing, fragile, breakable, edged. Tempted to use it even though it doesn't do much damage. You can go ahead and hold on to that. Actually, no, I might be able to sell it. So unequip it. Alright, well, I got some more experience points. Let's go ahead through there. Mausoleum. Guardian Spirit. Hello. The spectral figure materializes from the gloom of the passageway ahead and quickly moves to block your path. It floats before you, its once human features twisted in a mask of rage. Defilers, leave this place at once. Greetings! Leave now! Its booming voice echoes down the halls. This place is forbidden to the living. Leave now while you can. I have some questions first. Seek your answers elsewhere. This place is a sanctuary for the dead. I shall not permit their slumber to be disturbed by the intrusion of yet another insolent mortal. Another? Has someone else been here? If you must know, yes, there is another intruder who even now continues to violate the sanctity of these hallowed halls. The anger in the spirit's voice fades. He seems somewhat saddened by the admission. The souls of my brothers and sisters cry out for peace. Who is this other intruder? He is an evil coward who wields great power over the dead. He seeks something within these halls. What it might be or what his purpose is in seeking it, I cannot say. Why don't you drive this intruder away? I cannot. The coward has sealed himself within the inner chamber of the mausoleum. He has erected powerful wards that bar my entrance to the chamber. It is from there that he calls upon his dark arts to awaken my brethren and bends them to his evil will. Perhaps I may be of assistance to you. Sounds to me like you need the help of one intruder to get rid of another. We'll go with that one. The spirit remains silent for several long moments. You can almost feel the weight of his lifeless gaze upon you. Yes, you might prevail where I have failed. If you will pledge to rid me of this blackguard, I shall grant you passage. What say you? I'll do it.
Updated my journal.
So be it. The spirit slowly begins to fade, until only the echoing of its disembodied voice remains. But take heed. Tread lightly in these halls, lest you join the others in eternal rest. Okay, I can tread lightly and, you know, only steal a few things. It would help if I had another party member, though. Or more party members, I should say. Alright, don't know how to get there. Skeleton worker, uninjured.
I'm hurt.
Yeah, I am kind of hurt. Let's see. Quick items. Use a bandage on myself.
I'm hurt.
What's up?
Alright, Mort. There we go. Now you're taking care of those two. Dang it! You decided to attack me.
I'm gone.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Mort, go attack that one. You have better armor class than I do.
Damn it. Damn it.
Come on. Let's get another kill. Come on, there we go. They're not leaving
Alright.
anything. Some coins.
Huh?
Alright, Mort. Your turn. Jeez, how many hit points do these things have? Alright, let's see. Where do we want to go?
Alright.
I guess we'll go look up this way. Alright, that looks like it just loops back around. Yeah, I only have 7 hit points. I'm sure I'll survive. A giant skeleton. Maybe I won't. Run away! We'll come back and do this later. When we have, like, more people, levels, stuff. You know, less death. Alright, well, I think we'll call this an episode here. When we return, we will go explore some more areas. See you next time, everyone.